Jeff Bezos. Net worth, $113 billion. Change for the year, $18 billion. Status source, Amazon.com. Age, 56. Country, U.S. Jeff Bezos founded the Amazon online store in 1994 in his garage in Seattle. For a quarter of a century, the project has grown into the world's largest online retailer. Without OS, he continues to remain as CEO of the company and owns almost 12% of the shares. He also owns the Washington Post newspaper and the private aerospace company Blue Origin. In July 2019, the entrepreneur divorced Mackenzie Bezos after 25 years of marriage. The billionaire transferred a quarter of his Amazon stake to his former wife. Mackenzie's share made her one of the richest women in the world. Bill Gates. Net worth, $98 billion. Change for the year, plus $1.5 billion. Source of wealth, Microsoft, investments. Age, 65. Country, USA. Together with his wife Melinda, Bill Gates heads the world's largest private charitable foundation. The organization's work is aimed at improving the global health system and has become particularly relevant against a background of the coronavirus pandemic. The businessman is a long-time propagandist of the idea of the importance of universal vaccination and today actively participates with resources in the development of vaccination against COVID. Gates sold most of his shares in Microsoft. He owns just over 1% of the company's shares and invested in the stock market and other assets that allowed him not to sink in the amount of his fortune at the end of the past year. At the same time, he remains a member of the board of directors of the Native Corporation, which he founded together with Paul Allen in 1970. In recent years, Gates has supported many important initiatives that spur the social responsibility of large businesses. So, together with Warren Buffett, he initiated the Giving Pledge campaign, in which billionaires from around the world commit to donate at least 50% of their fortune to charity. And in 2019, the Microsoft co-founder also supported the left idea of raising property taxes for super. Amazon's revenue in 2019 amounted to $280.5 billion and net profit, $11.6 billion. In February, the company refused to build a second headquarters for $2.5 billion in New York because of the negative mood of local politicians. In recent weeks, Amazon's quotes have sunk along with the entire U.S. stock. Bernard Arnault and the family. Net worth, $76 billion. Change for the year, not changed. Status source, LVMH. Age, 71. Country, France. Bernard Arnault, who in the mid-1980s took $15 million from the family construction business to buy the fashion house Christian Dior, today oversees a global business empire of 75 luxury brands, including Louis Vuitton and Sephora. In 2019, LVMH's revenue increased by 15% to $60 billion. Such dynamics was provided by good demand both in Europe and the USA and in Asia. And both in Europe and the USA and in Asia. And both in Europe and the USA and in Asia. And both in Europe and the USA and in Asia. And both in Europe and the USA. In the moment of Arnault last year, he even briefly became the richest person on the planet. But the coronavirus pandemic has severely disrupted consumer demand around the world in recent months, which has also affected LVMH quotes. Arnault is a philanthropist and an avid collector. In 2014, he opened the Museum of Modern Art, the building of which was designed for $135 million by one of the main architects of our time, Frank Gehry. And in April 2019, the businessman promised to allocate more than $200 million for the restoration of the Notre Dame. Warren Buffett. Net worth, $67.5 billion. Change for the year, $15 billion. Source of wealth, Berkshire Hathaway. Age, 90. Country, USA. Warren Buffett is one of the most successful and respected investors in the world. Oracle of Omaha manages the investment house Berkshire Hathaway, which owns shares in more than 60 companies, including the insurer Geico, the battery manufacturer Duracell and the Dairy Queen restaurant chain. Buffett, the son of a U.S. congressman, bought his first stake at the age of 11, and at 13 he filed his first tax return. During his long life, he has become an indisputable authority in the field of investing. In recent years, Buffett, along with Bill Gates, has been actively engaged in charity work. Only in 2019, as a patron of the arts, the investor allocated $3.6 billion. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is the operator of most of these funds. In the last message to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders, Buffett for the first time seriously raised the issue of the need for a gradual transition of the management of the investment house. The market took these arguments as a signal of the billionaire's readiness. Larry Ellison. Net worth, $59 billion. Change for the year, $3.5 billion. Status source, Oracle. Age, 76. Country. Larry Ellison founded software manufacturer Oracle in 1977 to address the growing need for databases. The first client of the company was the CIA, and later the company's product was also in demand by the commercial. In more than a quarter of a century of business management, Ellison experienced many ups and downs, but eventually managed to turn Oracle into one of the largest software developers in the world, including through a series of unfriendly acquisitions of competitors. In 2014, he left the post of CEO but retained his seat on the board of directors and the position of technical director. Ellison invests a lot in medical and agricultural technologies. In 2012, he purchased the Hawaiian island of Lanai for $300 million, where he develops innovative projects in the field of healthcare and agriculture. The businessman also actively supports projects aimed at fighting cancer. Since 2018, Ellison has been on the board of directors of another notable American technology company, Tesla, founded by his friend Elon Musk. The creator of Oracle is himself a minority shareholder of the manufacturer of electric cars.